Good morning. So finally I'm able to sit down and film my Holy Grail foundations. I only have 4. I am extremely picky when it comes to foundation because I have a lot of different skin concerns. I have combination to oily skin, which is the #1 thing that I look in a foundation. Is it gonna help, you know, keep my oils under control? The second thing is I have milia prone skin, and I don't use foundations that will cause me to get milia, and a lot of advertised like dewy foundations tend to give me milia. SPF is the #1 offender in having me break out in milia. So that's part of the reason why I don't use SPF. I will try to get a foundation that has SPF in it, but honestly it's not something that I wear. And if I have 1,000 wrinkles when I get older, then it is what it is. But I'm not outside a lot, and I do work inside. And I know light reflecting or whatever, but the amount of milia that I get from sunscreen is severe. And I do not like the way that it feels, and I do not like the way that it looks. So that's why you usually never see me wear SPF like separately in my videos. The only SPF I've been able to use that actually works for me and doesn't give me milia is the Chanel SPF 50, and I love that one, and I tend to use it a lot in the summer. But because it's very pricey, it's like about $50. I can't even imagine now with inflation. It's probably like $55 now. It's not something that I can, you know, purchase regularly because I do my makeup every day. So I would go through one of those bottles, and you know, with the amount that you're supposed to put on, I mean, yeah. So the explanation nobody asked for, but here we are. So the way I'm gonna do this is, these foundations are not in any particular order. I am just going to try them on for you and talk about each one. I'm gonna start off with the most affordable one in my collection, and it's the one that I use the most, I would say, all year round, just because I use this as to create content for you guys as well. And it's also one of the reasons why I end up using this one the most is because I can pick up my Bare Minerals original foundation in this huge jumbo size during the holidays, and so this ends up lasting a really long time. This is a clean beauty brand for those of you who are interested. They have been on the market for decades, and they were the first to pave the way for mineral foundation, really. They were the ones who really put it on the map. And the reason why they have such a strong relationship with QVC was because QVC was one of the first companies that gave them, you know, was willing to take a chance on them and work with them and feature their brand on their channel, which is what really helped them launch. I've been using Bare Minerals since I was 15 years old, and I absolutely love this foundation. A lot of people don't like it because of the fact that it's mineral, so it's loose, so it tends to create a little bit of a mess. I have been using this so long that honestly, like, I don't create a mess. I know exactly how much I need. I usually use any powder brush will do, but I will use in either Real Techniques 201. You can use a flat foundation brush, or pretty much any foundation brush will do, honestly. But this is the one that I'm going to be using today. I usually just dip my brush on the top, which I'm going to show you has just a little bit of powder, and so I just dip my brush in there And I'm only picking up a little bit because I'm gonna do half of my face. And the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna do half with one foundation, half with another, so that you can see coverage and the difference in finish. So out of the 4 foundations I'm gonna be talking about today, this one is the most skin-like. And it is the easiest to build. It is the most value for your money. And it will not cause you to break out or give you milia. I think that this foundation is the most versatile because this caters to all skin types. This is not really targeted for, you know, just normal skin or dry skin or combination skin. It's for everyone. And I follow Shelby Wilson on YouTube, who used to work for Bare Minerals, and she wore this foundation for years and loved it, and she has really dry skin. So this is just one of my holy grails. I always have it in my collection. These 4 foundations are foundations that when I run out, I go out and buy more. I'm never without them. I like them for different reasons, obviously, because their finishes are going to be different. So here we have 1 layer of the Bare Minerals, and the shade I'm light, oh wow, I can't speak today. My shade is light 8, or just light, because sometimes they change the numbers. So I'm just the color light in their mineral foundation. So I love this one. You can build to as much coverage as you want and it will never look weird or cakey. This foundation's longevity, I used to work 12-hour shifts, but I would wake up an hour before work, and then I would spend about an hour to 2 hours between commute. And so technically my days were like 16, 18 hours, and this foundation lasts. It lasts, and it's one of those foundations that the longer that you wear it on your skin, the more skin-like it looks. It's almost like it starts to just sink into the skin and just blend in with your normal like complexion. So as you can see, I have some acne scars because my skin hasn't been happy with me lately. But I can build this up and cover it if I want to, and I'll go ahead and do that in this video. But this is typically as much coverage as I like. I'm okay. Like, my skin doesn't need to look, I don't need to cover up all of my acne scars. It's not something that like bothers me that much, you know? Skin is skin. It's not perfect. And I don't know, but I find the beauty in imperfection. Maybe that's just me. But so you can see that there is more coverage and you can continue to build this up. I'm not going to do a 3rd layer just because I don't want to irritate my skin. I do have to take it off because I have, you know, 3 more in front of me. But yes, you can build this up and it'll always look just beautiful. The formulation of this is absolutely fantastic, and I recommend this for all skin types. The next foundation we're gonna move on to is the Chanel Vita Lumiere Aqua. I am shade beige, right? What shade am I? 30 beige. And I'm gonna be using a beauty blender to put this on, and I'm gonna put this on the other half of my face. So this foundation has an SPF of 15, which basically means nothing because you can't really trust, like, you know, that's not how much you're really gonna get on your skin. But for somebody who doesn't wear SPF, whatever, something, right? So it is a very liquidy, thin foundation. I'm gonna do 2 drops just because I'm only doing half of my face. Usually when I do my entire face, I'll use 3 to 4 drops depending, because if I already have like foundation, like if I've been using this, I don't wash my beauty blender every day. I wash it every 2 uses because I do keep this in a very sterile, covered environment where it can dry. So I'll use 3 to 4 drops depending on my beauty blender. I do like to use a beauty blender when putting this on, and I use a beauty blender for the, you know, all the following, all the foundations I'm going to be talking about now. I just like the finish with a beauty blender than a brush. I find that my issue with using brushes with liquid foundations is that they tend to leave streaks, especially when I'm working under the eye area or around the nose. So this was 1 layer, and this one, out of all the ones I'm going to talk about, has the lightest coverage. It has lighter coverage even than the Bare Minerals. This one is very skin-like, and this one I like to use in the summer months. It has I'm gonna go in with a little bit more so you guys can see how this builds up. It has more of a satin finish. This one is going to provide the least amount of control for my oils, but it does have fragrance. The Bare Minerals foundation does not have fragrance. So if that's something that bothers you, you're not gonna like this foundation. The smell is not very strong and it doesn't linger once it dries down on the face, but it is still there. And I know there's some of you who do not like fragrance in your foundation. So as you can see, this one does have a lot less coverage with 2 layers than my Bare Minerals. And this is 2 layers on this side. And this one's just much lighter. And I love to use this one during the summer months, or generally like just when it's very hot. And like I said, my acne scars don't bother me, so this is a foundation that I will use whether or not I'm having a breakout or not. You can apply this with your fingertips, a brush, a sponge, whatever. I've tried them always. I don't like applying my foundation with my hands, period. It's just an extra step. Then I gotta wash my hands. I don't have that kind of time in the morning. So I technically just go in with a sponge. So now that we've seen both finishes, as you can see, it's dried down. It has more of a luminosity than this one. But with the Bare Minerals foundation, at first, if you don't use a setting spray, which I don't, I set it with my Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. And I use all of these foundations and I set them with my Mineral Veil. That's usually my setting powder. I use a very minimal amount. But this, if you add a setting spray, you can get that dewy finish immediately. But this foundation, after about 10 to 15 minutes, it just starts to sink in and look beautiful on the skin. You won't get that powdery looking finish. And the reason it looks a little powdery is because I did build it up, but on the first layer, if you noticed, it didn't look powdery. It looked more skin-like. But it will start to sink in and just look beautiful. This one does have more of a luminosity to it, but it's not tacky. It actually just dries down to a very light satin finish. Both of these foundations, all of these foundations actually that I'm going to talk about, literally feel like you have nothing on your skin. It just feels very comfortable. I'm going to start taking it off so that we can move on to the third and fourth foundation. I'm using an original makeup eraser because I feel like this is going to be the least harsh on my skin for this video. I almost did this video doing, you know, showing you on the back of my hands and comparing them that way. But I think that because I have, you know, problematic skin and I have those acne scars, I think that there's not a lot of YouTubers out there who, when they do foundation roundups, like, they have really good skin. And so I kind of am left with the question, well, how is that gonna work on my skin? You know what I mean? So I wanted to provide that kind of view for you guys, even if it does irritate my skin a little bit. It's only 4, so we're gonna get through it. So I decided to use this. But anyway, both of these are very skin-like. And now this is without foundation on, and you can see the difference in coverage with the Chanel Vita Lumiere Aqua. It's just a beautiful finish. I would say that they're slightly different colors. So my Bare Minerals shade has a little bit more of a yellow undertone than the Chanel one. And the Chanel one I think is a little bit more neutral in base. So there is that, you know, issue. I mean, because my skin has gone through a lot of changes, I used to have a lot of a yellow undertone. So I guess I could get rematched in this shade, but because I don't wear this built up, one layer just looks perfect on me. Also too, I haven't gotten sun, and I feel like when I tan a little bit, I get a little bit of color, just the slightest. This is perfect on my skin. So, you know, it's like an in-between, if that makes sense, which we all hate that in-between, but it is what it is. So now that that's completely off, let's move on to the third foundation. The third one I'm going to be talking about is the Chanel La Tente Velvet. Also has SPF 15. And the difference between these two is you can see that the cap on this one is matte, which means you're gonna get a matte finish, but it is gonna be a very soft matte. It will not look flat, and this one does provide a little bit more coverage than the Vita Aqua Lumiere. This one I like to use a lot in like spring, summer, you know. But honestly, I use these foundations all year round. Like when I run out of one, I'll just move on to like the next one because I just love it that much. But I feel like I would gravitate towards this one in the summer. Like if I know summer's coming, this is the one I'm gonna pull out. Both of these foundations do not have a shelf life, versus the Bare Minerals one. I'm looking at it now. Oh, actually the Bare Minerals one does have an SPF of 15. Wow, I thought that's new. I guess I've never noticed that. Okay, this doesn't have a shelf life, but these two do. These don't either. So these 3 foundations, no shelf life. The fourth one I'm going to talk about does have a shelf life on it. I don't know what the specifics are with that, but I just wanted to let you know. So this one has a velvet matte finish. It has a blurring smooth effect to it. I love this foundation. This one I know has been out of stock for a while. You do have to shake these two. You have to shake them before use. And it tells you on the bottle to shake it. But this is slowly coming into stock. So I've seen them at Ulta. I'm gonna use the other side of my beauty blender to apply this. And again, with this one, I am B30. Oh, look. So see, this is very confusing. I check the packaging because I always have them in their original packaging. This one does have a shelf life of 12 months, but look where they put it. On the bottom. It's not on the box, anywhere on the box. It's on the bottom of the bottle. I am B30 in this one. This has a 12-month shelf life. Okay, I'm gonna apply this to this side of the face. So immediately you can see that this one has much more coverage than the Vita Aqua Lumiere. Because it has really covered up all of my acne scars. This one has a bit of a scent to it as well. You know, all of Chanel complexion products, all of their foundations have that Chanel scent to it. I don't mind it, but I know, you know, some people don't like it. So I always like to mention it, so you guys don't get angry if you purchase this online and it gets to you and you're like, a girl, why didn't you tell me this was fragranced? Okay. So it does have a velvet matte finish, and you can see that immediately. Let me see if I can. All right, I turned on my Ricky Loves Ricky mirror so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this is one layer. You can build this up to 2 layers. I don't like to. I think that there's more than enough coverage here, but for the sake of this video, I will show you. What that looks like. You have to work in small amounts with this foundation, and you do have to work a little quickly because it does dry down quick. So, all right, so this is 2 layers of this foundation. This is one of my favorite finishes. I love the way that this feels on my skin. It just smooths out my pores. None of these foundations emphasize my large pores here or around my nose. They just wear so well. This is, again, very skin-like. It's not gonna crease. It's not gonna sink into the giant wrinkle I have under my eye. I never, ever have a problem with this breaking apart, even when my oils come through. The Vita Aqua Lumiere, out of the 4 I'm going to be talking about, does the least for my oils. This one does, actually my Bare Minerals also, it doesn't do much for my oils, which is fine, because there is a beauty to this foundation. It just works. That's all I can say. It just works. The Vita Aqua Lumiere is so thin that it's just always gonna look like your natural skin, and there will be that question of like, are you wearing foundation, which is the beauty of Vita Lumiere Aqua. The Ultra Latent Velvet will be a soft coverage, as you can see. You can tell you're wearing makeup, but you know, it's kind of like a natural kind of foundation. The last and final foundation, and this one out of all 4 is my #1 favorite foundation. And it's an unpopular opinion, but it's the Chanel Ultra Le Tint foundation. I am the shade BD31. You get a 1 fluid ounce in all of the Chanel foundations I've just talked about. In this jumbo size for the Bare Minerals, you get 0.6 ounces or 18 grams. So you get a ton of foundation in here. This is my favorite for so many reasons. This is the one foundation that will keep my oils in check all day, yet look skin-like and weightless and feels like I have nothing on. Usually foundations that are high coverage like this one is, you tend to feel like you have makeup on your skin. It can crease. This does not crease. This does not break apart. This just wears very, very long time, just like all of these. This one doesn't have a long wear time, and it is more sensitive to if you touch your face. If you're one of those people that can't keep your hands off your face, you will notice it with this one because it's so thin. It doesn't have longevity the way that these other three do. It doesn't claim to either, so keep that in mind. So if you're wearing a mask to work, this one's not gonna be your go-to. This one, you're gonna see it will come off pretty quickly. Bare Minerals, awesome longevity power. The Ultra Velvet Tint, I would say, is the middle of the road, where it is a lot stronger than the Vita Lumiere Aqua. But if you spend 12-hour days just kind of, you know, touching your face, wearing a mask, you're gonna see it at the end of the day with this. You're gonna see like patches where you've rubbed off the foundation. This one though, this is the MVP right here. This is like, and it claims to be long wearing. It's ultra wear all day comfort flawless finish foundation. This has a shelf life of 12 months, and I do not see that this has any kind of SPF. So, and I'm looking at the box as well. Again, 1 fluid ounce, but I'm gonna show you this magic right here. This is my favorite finish. This was the first foundation that actually did what it claimed to do. And what I mean by that is it's supposed to help with, like, you know, the oils, and it has that matte finish, and it really does, guys. It really does. Even in my T-zone, this keeps my oils at bay. This is one layer of this, and you can see how much coverage that applied. This side has 2 layers, and you can see that it has much less coverage on those scars. This is just 1 layer. Now, this one, I only wear 1 layer. For me, 1 layer is more than enough. I do not go past, I mean, if I do 2 layers, it's fine. It is buildable. I'm gonna go in with a 2nd layer just for the sake of this video. And it does so well. So well. It wears amazing, and I live in a very humid climate. I live in Florida, and it is very hot and humid here, and this, oh my gosh, a lot of people don't like this because they used to have a very limited range of foundation, and then they expanded, and I used to be B30, and BD31 is actually a better shade for me because it has a bit more of a yellow neutral undertone, so it matches better than B30. Look at that. So it is a matte, and you can see that it's matte, but it's not a flat matte. It has one of the most beautiful finishes out there, and as it wears, it just looks better. It just looks amazing. I love this foundation. This, my Bare Minerals used to be my all-time favorite #1 foundation. But when I started using this, this one trumped this one. I know. So this is my #1. And I said that I wasn't ranking these because I'm not. Because I love them all equally, and I feel like they all have different they all serve different purposes in my makeup routine, and for that reason I'm not ranking it. But I am telling you, then it's the only thing I'm going to say, this is my #1 because it is the one I gravitate to the most. It is the one that my skin agrees with the most. It's the finish I love the most. Yes, I do. I love this foundation, BD 31, and BD 41 would be my summer shade in this. All right, so here we have the Ultra Latent Velvet, and then this one is the Ultra Latent. Those of you with dry skin may not like this one, but I've heard from a couple people who have normal skin that they really like the finish on this. So you can get a sample from a department store or a Chanel boutique and try it out at home. These though, these three, I feel that a lot of people who have normal to dry skin do like these foundations. So I don't, it's like I said, they're very skin-like. They really do just work well. They sink into the skin really nicely. So this one though, I think is a cult favorite for anybody with like normal skin, because I don't know if people with dry skin would like this, because it does have a satin finish, dry down, but I'm assuming if you prep your skin with like a really good moisturizer, spray it with a little dewy mist, I think it should be fine. But yes, here is my foundation roundup video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Just wanted to keep it short and sweet and tell you why I love these. None of these sink into my enlarged pores. As you can see, it's like the smoothing, blurring effect. That lasts all day. Even when my oils start to come through a little bit, the way that these foundations are formulated, it will always keep that smoothing effect. So my pores will never look emphasized, if you know what I mean, which was the reason I didn't like the Armani Luminous Silk. It looked nice when you first applied it, but as I wore it out through the day, I felt like in this area, it really just emphasized my large pores, and that's definitely not something I look for in a foundation. So I hope you enjoyed this video. The next one I will be filming will be my top perfume picks that are work appropriate, so you should be seeing that soon. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like it, hit the little like button. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you subscribe if you like my content, and you can also follow me on Instagram, and I will leave my handle on the screen below. You can also find my Instagram handle in my description box. That is the only other social platform that I'm active on other than YouTube, because it's too much. I can't handle it all. So thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.